Hey NBA fans, ever wondered which contracts in NBA history wasted the most money? From superstars to role players, some deals shocked the league and left teams paying millions for almost nothing. Today, on NBA 4U, we're counting down the 20 worst contracts in NBA history and explaining exactly why they happened. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss crazy NBA stories like this. 1. Gilbert Arenas, Washington Wizards, 6 years, $111 million, 2008. Gilbert Arenas was one of the league's most explosive scorers in the mid-2000s, earning multiple All-Star appearances. In 2008, the Wizards rewarded him with a 6-year, $111 million contract. Unfortunately, injuries quickly reduced his effectiveness, and in 2009, the infamous locker room gun incident led to suspension and legal trouble. The combination of declining performance, off-court issues, and massive guaranteed money made this deal catastrophic. The Wizards overestimated Arenas' durability and off-court judgment, turning the contract into a financial and competitive burden. It is widely regarded as one of the worst in NBA history due to how little the team received relative to the money committed. 2. Allan Houston, New York Knicks, 6 years, $100 million, 2001. Allan Houston was a prolific shooter and fan favorite for the Knicks. In 2001, he signed a 6-year, $100 million contract at his peak. However, injuries quickly limited his playing time and his production declined. The Knicks were locked into a massive contract that restricted roster flexibility. They overpaid based on past performance rather than future durability, and Houston's inability to stay healthy meant the team received far less value than expected. This deal became a cautionary tale about long-term extensions for players prone to injuries and is remembered as one of the most burdensome contracts in NBA history. 3. Joakim Noah, New York Knicks, 4 years, $72 million, 2016. Joakim Noah was once a Defensive Player of the Year and a double-double machine for the Chicago Bulls. The Knicks signed him to a 4-year, $72 million deal in 2016, hoping he could bring defense and leadership to a struggling team. However, injuries limited Noah to just 95 games over 2 seasons. On the court, his production never matched the contract's value, and off-court issues, including conflicts with coaching staff, further reduced his impact. The Knicks essentially paid nearly $500,000 for every minute he played during this period. This deal is considered one of the worst in NBA history because it combined enormous guaranteed money with minimal on-court contribution. 4. Chandler Parsons, Memphis Grizzlies, 4 years, $94 million, 2016. Chandler Parsons was a versatile forward, known for three-point shooting and spacing. After solid performances with the Rockets, the Grizzlies signed him to a 4-year, $94 million contract in 2016. Unfortunately, Parsons struggled with chronic injuries, appearing in only about 95 games across 3 seasons. His inability to stay healthy meant the team paid star-level money for a player who could rarely contribute consistently. The contract hindered Memphis's flexibility, limiting roster moves and salary cap management. This deal is often cited as a prime example of overpaying a role player, highlighting the risks of long-term, high-value contracts for players with durability concerns. 5. Timofey Mozgov, Los Angeles Lakers, 4 years, $64 million, 2016. Timofey Mozgov signed a 4-year, $64 million contract with the Lakers in 2016 after a strong playoff run with the Cavaliers. At the time, he was seen as a solid defensive big man who could provide size and rim protection. However, Mozgov struggled mightily in Los Angeles, averaging just 4 to 5 points and 3 to 4 rebounds per game while frequently sitting on the bench. Injuries and declining skills compounded the issue. The contract became a major financial burden for the Lakers, limiting their flexibility under the salary cap. Mozgov's deal is considered one of the worst in NBA history because the team paid a high price for minimal production and little long-term value. 6. John Wall, Washington Wizards, 4 years, $170 million approximately, 2017 extension. John Wall, a 5-time All-Star, signed a 4-year Supermax extension with the Wizards in 2017 worth roughly $170 million. The deal made him one of the highest-paid guards in NBA history at the time. Unfortunately, Wall suffered severe injuries, including a torn Achilles, which kept him off the court for nearly 2 full seasons. His performance, post-injury, never returned to All-Star level, leaving the Wizards paying a massive salary for limited contribution. The contract also restricted roster flexibility, making trades and rebuilding difficult. Wall's deal serves as a cautionary tale about extending aging or injury-prone stars to massive contracts, illustrating how health and availability are crucial when evaluating long-term NBA contracts. 7. Luol Deng, Los Angeles Lakers, 4 years, $72 million, 2016. Luol Deng signed a 4-year, $72 million deal with the Lakers in 2016, hoping to provide veteran leadership and defensive versatility. Deng had been a reliable player in previous years, but age and injuries began to catch up quickly. He played just 68 games in his first season and appeared in only 37 games in his second, providing minimal on-court impact relative to his massive salary. The contract became a major cap burden for Los Angeles, limiting the team's ability to sign or retain other talent. Deng's deal is widely cited as one of the worst NBA contracts because it combined high guaranteed money with declining productivity, leaving the Lakers with little return on investment. 8. Omer Asik, Houston Rockets, New Orleans Pelicans, 4 years, $44 to $60 million, 2015. Omer Asik signed a 4-year contract worth up to $60 million in 2015, moving from Houston to New Orleans. The Pelicans expected a rim-protecting center to anchor their defense. Unfortunately, Asik's production was inconsistent, and injuries limited his playing time. Over the course of the deal, he often struggled to justify the salary, averaging limited points, rebounds, and minutes on the floor. The contract became a financial liability, consuming cap space that could have been used to improve the roster elsewhere. Asik's deal is a cautionary example of overpaying a defensive specialist who cannot stay healthy, highlighting the risks of long-term contracts for players with durability concerns. 9. Elton Brand, Philadelphia 76ers, 5 years, $80 million, 2008. Elton Brand was a 2-time All-Star and a reliable front-court presence when the 76ers signed him to a 5-year, $80 million contract in 2008. Initially, he contributed solid production, but injuries and age caught up, reducing his effectiveness on the court. Brand missed significant time due to knee problems and never consistently performed at the level expected for his salary. The contract became a financial burden, limiting Philadelphia's flexibility in signing other players. Despite his reputation and prior contributions, the deal is widely regarded as one of the worst in NBA history because the team invested heavily in a player past his peak, receiving limited value relative to the guaranteed money. 10. Peja Stojakovic, New Orleans Hornets, 5 years, $64 million, 2006. Peja Stojakovic, a sharpshooting small forward, signed a 5-year, $64 million contract with the Hornets in 2006 after several successful seasons in Sacramento. While initially productive, Stojakovic's performance declined due to age and recurring injuries. He struggled to stay on the floor consistently, reducing his overall contribution relative to the large salary. The deal became a burden on New Orleans' payroll, limiting flexibility for roster improvements and adjustments. Peja's contract is often cited as one of the worst because it exemplifies overpaying a player based on past peak performance rather than projected future output. Teams learned from this mistake that long-term deals for aging stars carry significant risk. 11. Bradley Beal, Washington Wizards Phoenix Suns, 5 years, $251 million, 2023. Bradley Beal signed a massive 5-year, $251 million Supermax deal with the Wizards before being traded to the Phoenix Suns. While Beal is a prolific scorer, an all-star, the contract drew criticism due to its sheer size and the lack of flexibility it imposed on the team. Injuries have occasionally limited his availability, and the Suns now face challenges managing their salary cap around his deal. Paying a near max salary to a player without building a full supporting cast increases the risk of underperformance relative to the investment. Beal's contract is considered risky because it combines a very high guaranteed amount with potential health concerns, making roster construction difficult for any team. 12. Kawhi Leonard, Los Angeles Clippers, 4 years, $176 million, 2019. Kawhi Leonard signed a 4-year, $176 million Supermax with the Clippers in 2019 after leading the Raptors to an NBA championship. While Leonard is elite when healthy, his history of injuries and load management concerns make the deal controversial. He missed significant portions of seasons due to knee and quadriceps issues, limiting his on-court contribution relative to the enormous salary. The Clippers committed a huge portion of their cap to one player, restricting flexibility in acquiring additional talent. Leonard's contract is often debated as a potential worst deal because of the gamble on health and availability, demonstrating the high stakes of Supermax contracts for injury-prone stars. 13. Andrew Wiggins, Minnesota Timberwolves, 5 years, $147 million, 2017. Andrew Wiggins signed a 5-year, $147 million contract extension with the Minnesota Timberwolves in 2017 after showing potential as a high-scoring wing. While Wiggins has been productive at times, his contract drew criticism because his overall impact defense, playmaking, and consistency did not align with the massive salary. Injuries and uneven performance further reduced the value of the deal. The Timberwolves were locked into paying a near-max salary for a player who had yet to fully justify star-level compensation. The contract became a cautionary example of overpaying a talented but inconsistent player, showing how teams can overcommit financially to potential rather than proven elite performance. 14. Nicolas Batum, Charlotte Hornets, 5 years, $120 million. 2016, Nicolas Batum signed a 5-year, $120 million deal with the Charlotte Hornets in 2016, aiming to provide scoring, playmaking, and veteran leadership. Batum's versatility was appealing, but injuries and inconsistent play meant he rarely lived up to the contract's value. His shooting and defensive contributions declined, making the deal a significant cap burden for Charlotte. By the end of the contract, Batum's production was far below expectations, limiting the team's flexibility in improving the roster. The deal is often cited as one of the worst in NBA history because it demonstrates how paying a large sum for a jack-of-all-trades player can backfire if performance drops or injuries intervene. 15. Jason Williams, New Jersey Nets, 6 years, $86 million, 1999. Jason Williams signed a 6-year, $86 million contract with the New Jersey Nets in 1999 after showing promise as a strong rebounder and shot blocker. Tragically, he suffered a severe leg injury shortly after, ending his effectiveness and dramatically limiting his playing time. The Nets were left paying a massive contract for minimal on-court contribution, making it essentially dead money. Beyond the injury, Williams' contract also restricted the team's salary flexibility, preventing them from acquiring other talent during the duration of the deal. This contract is remembered as one of the worst in NBA history because it combined a long-term financial commitment with unexpected health setbacks, illustrating the risks of overpaying even promising players. 16. John Koncak, Atlanta Hawks, 7 years, $13 million, 1989. John Koncak signed a 7-year, $13 million contract with the Atlanta Hawks in 1989, which was enormous at the time, even exceeding the salaries of several star players. Koncak was a solid but unspectacular center whose on-court impact never justified the deal. His low production relative to the salary made him a cautionary example of early salary inflation in the NBA. The Hawks front office miscalculated his value, overpaying for size and perceived potential rather than actual performance. Koncak's contract is still cited as one of the worst historical deals because it created financial strain while delivering minimal returns, emphasizing the importance of balancing player potential with realistic performance expectations. 17. Tobias Harris, Orlando Magic Detroit Phoenix, 5 years, $180 million, approximately 2022. Tobias Harris signed a 5-year, near-max contract worth roughly $180 million, approximately 2022, $180 million, making him one of the highest-paid players relative to production. While Harris is a versatile scorer and solid rebounder, the contract drew criticism because his impact rarely matches a true superstar's salary. His scoring is efficient but inconsistent, and he does not carry a team offensively or defensively at an elite level. Teams paying star-level money for a role player risk limiting roster flexibility, and Harris's deal exemplifies this. It became a cautionary example of overpaying a productive but non-elite player, highlighting the importance of balancing contribution, potential, and market inflation when offering long-term, high-value NBA contracts. 18. Jerami Grant, Detroit Pistons Portland Trail Blazers, 4 years, $90 million, 2021. Jerami Grant signed a 4-year, $90 million contract extension with the Detroit Pistons, which many analysts criticized as overpaying for a good, but not elite player. Grant is a strong defender and athletic wing who can score, but his overall offensive impact is inconsistent, and his team-carrying potential is limited. Paying nearly $23 million per season for this level of production makes it one of the less efficient contracts in recent NBA history. The deal illustrates the risk of market inflation and the danger of giving near-max money to a player whose role and impact do not justify the cost, limiting team flexibility in assembling a competitive roster. 19. Michael Porter Jr., Denver Nuggets, 5 years, $163 million, 2022. Michael Porter Jr. signed a 5-year, $163 million Supermax extension with the Denver Nuggets in 2022 after showing high scoring potential. While he is an elite shooter and athletic forward, The contract has drawn criticism due to injury history and inconsistent availability. Porter Jr. has missed significant games throughout his career, and paying superstar money to a player with durability concerns is a significant risk. Although highly talented, the deal limits the Nuggets' flexibility under the salary cap and puts pressure on him to consistently perform at an elite level. This contract is often cited as risky because it exemplifies the dangers of betting heavily on potential while ignoring long-term health uncertainty. 20. Zion Williamson, New Orleans Pelicans, 5 years, $231 million max, 2023. Zion Williamson signed a 5-year, $231 million supermax contract with the New Orleans Pelicans in 2023, reflecting his immense potential and marketability. However, his career has been plagued by injuries, limiting his availability and raising questions about the team's investment. While Williamson is an explosive scorer and unique talent, committing such a massive contract to a player with a history of lower body injuries is risky. The deal consumes a large portion of the Pelicans' salary cap, reducing flexibility to build a full supporting roster. This contract is considered potentially one of the worst if his health issues persist, highlighting the dangers of betting on superstar potential without guaranteed durability in the modern NBA.